Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for October 20th. October 20th is the 293rd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 294th in leap years, with 72 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is granite. Granite is a hard, intrusive igneous rock. It's usually composed of quartz, feldspar, and plagioclase, which are minerals. Igneous means that the rock was molten, and intrusive basically means that it cooled underground as compared to extrusive, which refers to molten material that flows and cools above ground. But granite is an intrusive rock formation. It tends to be hard, so it's good for things like tiles and countertops and state capitol steps. The word granite comes to us from Latin, granum, which means a grain because of the coarse-grained structure and appearance of granite. Granite usually has a hardness of 6 or 7 on the Mohs scale. And to give you a little reference there, talc is the softest at 1 and diamonds are the hardest at 10. And with that, as you probably know, the United States comprises a good-sized chunk of the North American continent. Canada, of course, lies to the north and Mexico to the south, with the United States taking up most of the middle. France, Spain, and England had laid claim to various parts of what is now the United States. A few other countries too, but those three were the major players. Of course, the American colonists revolted against British rule and acquired their freedom in the 1700s, forming a new nation, the United States of America. But America didn't hold sway over the entire continent. The French and the Spanish had parts of it too. You may know that we have a state called Louisiana. It's a boot-shaped state in the southern part of the United States. The mighty Mississippi River runs through it, forming a delta in the Gulf of Mexico. Prior to today's item, though, most of present-day Louisiana was just a tiny portion of a much larger area called the Louisiana Territory that spread over a large portion of present-day United States. The Louisiana Territory covered an area that now comprises the states of Montana, North and South Dakota, parts of Wyoming, Colorado, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Iowa, part of Minnesota, portions of New Mexico and Texas, and even up into Canada. It was huge. The French had the Louisiana Territory from 1699 until Spain acquired it in 1792. France got it back in 1800, but that didn't quite work out for a variety of reasons. Thomas Jefferson and James Madison were interested in acquiring the Louisiana Territory for the United States and set about in negotiation with the French for it. And when the French offered to sell the Louisiana Territory to the United States, our guys didn't waste any time in making a deal. Of course, a deal that big is bound to have some opponents, and this one sure did. But Jefferson and Madison managed to talk Congress into it. $15 million for the purchase, which breaks down to about $18 per square mile, would effectively double the size of the United States and give control over the waterways of the Mississippi River. And so it is that on October 20th, 1803, the United States Senate ratified the Louisiana Purchase. This is the birthday of baseball great Mickey Mantle, born October 20th, 1931. His dad named him in honor of Hall of Fame catcher Mickey Cochran. Later in his life, Mickey Mantle expressed relief that his father didn't know that Cochran's real first name was Gordon because he didn't think he'd like to be named Gordon. But I think that, whatever name we are assigned, maybe at some point we think we don't like that name, but we either get over it or we change it. No big. Mickey Mantle played his entire baseball career with the New York Yankees, was elected to the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 1974, and died in 1995 at the age of 63. This is the birthday of American singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, record producer, and actor Tom Petty, born October 20th, 1950. He was the lead singer for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and founding member of the Traveling Wilburys and Mudcrutch bands. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2002 and is one of those artists that is hard to pick out just one favorite song of his. That said, we were all heartbroken to learn of his death in 2017 from an accidental pain medication overdose at the age of 66. Tom Petty, a remarkable human being. Tom Petty had 25 songs that made it onto Billboard's Hot 100 list, the biggest one of which was Stop Dragging My Heart Around. And if you know that song, you're probably at least humming it to yourself right now, just like I am. Tom Petty and Mike Campbell wrote this song for the Heartbreakers, but Jimmy Iovine, who was working with Stevie Nicks at the time, arranged for her to sing with the guys on this one. I imagine there was a great deal of discussion around it, but Stop Dragging My Heart Around was released on Stevie Nicks' debut solo album, Belladonna. Stop Dragging My Heart Around. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that is called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, Parler, BitChute, and Gitter. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.